What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another uniform review video. Alright, so we're going to be taking a look at Nightcrawler's new uniform here. We have his classic look. Looking pretty cool here. I do like Nightcrawler. He's got the swashbuckler blades back there, which is pretty nice. Did you have them on this back before? Yeah, he didn't. He had some blacked out ones here. Definitely like these ones a lot better with the gold and silver. But yeah, let's see what Nightcrawler is getting. He is a base cost uniform, which we don't see too often. So just a $750 cost one on sale uniform. Haven't seen one of those in a while, it seems like. But anyway, the uniform is going to change his tier 2 passive and his 4-star passive. And then he's going to get 20% chain hit damage. How much did he have in the other one? It was just 5%. Yeah, so he does get a pretty good boost on chain hit damage there, an extra 15%. And then his tier 2 passive here is going to have 20% guaranteed dodge, which hasn't changed. We have an increase now to the summoned character stats. It used to be just 20%, either 20 or 25%, so it's like a 10 or 15% upgrade there. And then for the skill and bonus damage, that also gets an upgrade. I think that used to be 20 and 15, so a nice buff there. The 4-star passive, we have dodge, and now whenever it uses a skill, was it used? I don't think it was when he's using a skill before, but we get the 30% increase to all attack, all defense, or yeah, all defense, and it's going to be 20, if I can speak here, 12 seconds on a 10-second cooldown. So that's going to be up the entire time because this will activate with any skill that you use. So as long as you hit a skill, this is going to be active, and then you get an increase for your next attack by 50%, and that lasts for 6 seconds. So you're just going to have that every 10 seconds, basically. So every 10 seconds, you're going to get a 50% damage boost to whatever skill you're using. All right, so the first skill, we got our summons there. We got some summons there. We got some summons there. We got some paralysis that ignores immunity for 2 seconds. And then here we have 40% all attack and all defense with 15% all speed and 25% crit rate. I believe that's a little bit more than what this uniform was. Yeah, because this was only 15, 15, and 10. So actually that's a pretty significant increase there in terms of the buffs. And even with that increase, I still haven't noticed this uniform being that great, I guess, overall. Of course, it's a big upgrade for Nightcrawler in terms of his base kit and his old uniform, but in terms of like the current power level with some of the other options out there, this uniform just isn't that strong. So only if you really want to make Nightcrawler more viable, you would probably pick up this uniform, but he's not going to be clearing very high stages of Warboss Ultimate. This is pretty much just going to help him out in Shadowlands or Alliance Conquest. Those are probably the two areas that this uniform is really going to shine. So if you do have an interest in playing either of those, then this uniform will probably help you out there to push a little bit higher. And that's because you also have this minus 50% all defense down, which you didn't have any all defense down previous to this uniform. So this definitely helps for especially those high stages in Shadowland. Yeah, and you still have the summons on that, so that's what that's looking like. So let's hop into the skill preview and actually see what some of these new skill animations look like, or I should say in air quotes, these new skill animations, because you're going to see they're very similar to his X-Force uniform. So if you have his other uniform, you're not really going to see much of a difference here in terms of his skill animations. So as you can see, everything is very, very similar. It's basically just changed like some of the coloring, and I think that's about it. So yeah, those are all, yeah, all the skills are exactly the same as his old uniform. It's just some of the coloration, I think, and there's maybe a few more hits. Yeah, maybe a few more hits. One of the things that is very annoying about this uniform is on the 5th skill with his all defense down, you do not get that all defense down until the very, very last attack of the skill. So as soon as he rains down that giant X here, and boom, that big X, those hits from that big X are going to apply the all defense down. So that is a little annoying that you have to wait that long to get the all defense down. It makes it a little more difficult to combine it with other skills, and then you just have to, you know, wait for this entire skill animation to play through. It doesn't have very many hits, so it's not going to be super damaging. So, I mean, yeah, there's still quite a few things, you know, that you can nitpick about this uniform, but I understand they can't make every uniform like God tier, but I don't know, it feels like they should have done a little bit more for Nightcrawler here. And the skill rotation that I like to use for him is just basically spamming skills to try to keep him safe because he dies extremely easily. So you need to take advantage of those iframes. You need to take advantage of that damage immunity. So you can't really combine the all defense down like you would really want to with some of the skills. Because I tried doing this right here and then going into 4 because 4 gives you the big buff. And then I go into 3 because 3 is by far his most damaging skill. 3 does a ton of damage if you have the all defense down, and it does give you some damage immunity. So I want to get the all defense down from the 5th skill and the buff from the 4th skill. But as you can see with the 4th skill here, iframe, iframe, no iframe, iframe, and yeah, you're popping in and out of iframe a little too much, and that's enough for you to either get guard broken or just one-shotted, and that has happened to me quite a few times because I try to just do 5, wait all the way through, and then I do 4, and I usually wait most of the way through and then go into the 3rd skill, but maybe I got to start canceling a little earlier, and then after the 3rd skill you take advantage of the iframe on the 2nd skill, and then hopefully you can go back into the 5th skill and stay pretty much in iframe the entire time. So if you go here and try to cancel into the 3rd skill before you, I don't know, go into that or before you hop out of the iframe, but that happens really early in the skill. So I don't know, I haven't found the best way to really play Nightcrawler yet. The only saving grace for Nightcrawler is going to be his Awakening. So his Awakening skill has some all defense down on it, stacks up to minus 60%, which again isn't enough to really push like really high, but the Awakening skill is going to be a huge portion of his damage. So if we take a look at his Awakening skill here, we summon in Gambit and X23, and it's pretty much the same Awakening skill as Gambit, except now you're highlighting Nightcrawler. So yeah, that's what we got there. So overall, like I said, if you're going to be using Nightcrawler, then this is definitely a must-buy uniform. But besides that, I don't think it's enough of a power jump for him in the current state of the game, I guess is the best way to put it, because it's definitely a power jump, just not enough for him to really, I don't know, be anywhere in like the top 20 picks for like game modes or anything like that. At least in my opinion, that's the feeling that I get from the uniform. I did buy the uniform, as you can see. I've already ranked it up to legendary. I've tried it out just a little bit in some World Boss Ultimate. He doesn't do great against Proxima. I was saying he gets one-shotted pretty easily because of the in and out of iframes. So it's just a little bit of a pain there. But let's take a look at the uniform options here. So we have Magneto, House of X as the first one. We have Luna Snow's Andromeda suit. Then we have Sharon Rogers' Star Knight armor. And then we have Hyperion Classic. And finally, the last one is going to be Moon Knight's Mr. Knight uniform. So, I mean, not bad options there for the uniform. So I even have, don't quite have enough bios yet. One of actually the main reasons that I did buy this uniform, because I actually wasn't going to buy it at first, but then I noticed that it was only a 750 crystals. And then I also noticed that for some reason I had a ton of Nightcrawler bios, because I got them up to legendary without, I mean, I don't have any exchange selectors, so of course I couldn't use any, but I got them all the way up to legendary, and I have 190 bios left over towards the mythic. So I almost had enough to get his uniform to mythic just from bios I had laying around for Nightcrawler. I don't know where they all came from, but those were pretty much the two reasons, and that I already had him at level 70 because I was pretty much getting all of my mutants to level 70 because we're always capped on feathers and MCon crystals. So that's where they're going for me, is just getting mutants to level 70. So I figured, you know what, he could be good for Shadowland for me, because I am planning on doing another push in Shadowland to see how high I can get and finally get that CTP selector, because I haven't actually gone for that yet, so I haven't really made another push. So I might actually make that into a video series or episode or something like that. So a little side tangent. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that, of me trying to get the CTP selector from Shadowland, so kind of like min-maxing, so using like my really bad characters at the start and then seeing how I can stretch out my roster. And usually I end up getting pretty frustrated at the start because I'm using all of my weak characters in the beginning, and my gosh, the weak characters in this game it is difficult to even do like a stage 1 through 5 in Shadowland with some of these weak characters. So I get pretty annoyed and frustrated trying to make them work. But since the roster has grown so much since my last push in Shadowland, just from new characters alone, I might not have to actually worry too much about that. But anyway, let me know if you'd be interested in seeing a little mini series on that of me trying to push through that, or maybe I could even try live streaming that a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, just let me know in the comments below if any of that sounds interesting to you. But that's just going to be my initial take on Nightcrawler's uniform here. So hopefully you guys still enjoyed nonetheless. If you're having fun with Nightcrawler's uniform, feel free to let me know. If he's performing better than I'm giving credit for, also let me know. But he just didn't seem to kind of wow me. But I do, of course, like the uniform look. The animations are the same as what we've already had, so I think they should have updated that to have a little more maybe AoE or more hits. It just doesn't seem like he does enough hits to really justify having this increased chain hit damage here for the uniform bonus. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.